you say? Easy like Sunday morning. Sorry. What's a banger? What's a banger?
A bloody banger. I've had 3 beers. I feel ready for it. I'm not nervous anymore.
All right, good. We love to see it. Have another one.
We'll see. Another one's in the fridge. Don't worry about that. No bedtime tonight, mate. No curfew.
No, I want that, mate. Go on.
No curfew.
Not
I'll
till
be
2 in the
hungover.
morning.
Editing till 5.
It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. What is the worst that can happen? I mean, it's only my job.
Exactly. Who needs one? Do you know what
Who
I mean?
needs a job? Who needs a
I have
job?
a real job, so it's fine.
Well, I don't. You got the best job in the world.
It's not.
Undisputed.
I still reckon being an F1 driver would be better. Not gonna lie.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Still, listen, I'm just a late bloomer. It's fine. I'll get there.
Mate, my mate.
You'll catch me on an F1 grid when I'm like 47. Just like, hello, young whippersnappers. I'm in the prime of my life.
It's never too late to get a gold medal. I think, to be fair, 47-year-old you would definitely be however old Lewis Hamilton would be when you're 47.
Wait, so I'd be the same as Lewis Hamilton when I'm 47?
I reckon by the time you're 40, if you start now, like right after this.
Right, okay. So if I start now, when I'm 47, I'll be as good as Lewis Hamilton is now.
Better.
I fully misinterpreted what you said and was very confused. I was like, wait, are we both 47 in this scenario?
Yeah,
maybe.
If he stops aging.
I don't know. I just feel like I'll have lost my edge. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll be walking around and I'll be like, oh yeah, cool, back to get in the car, and then oh shit, that's the IBS. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to do it.
If you get sponsored by one of those men's nappies, adult nappies.
Shout. Just plaster that across like just Pampers down the side of the car. thing is though, what's even funnier about this image is the start of the story, because I'm gonna be a 22-year-old man, and I'm gonna have to go, or 23 almost, and I'm gonna be going karting against like 9-year-olds. So there's gonna be 9-year-olds driving around some karting track in the middle of the UK, and there's me, 22 even, fucking with my knees poking out the top of the car, like crouched over.
Hey man, I'll be
Laughing in
there,
their faces.
cheering you on every step of the way.
Thank you. I appreciate the loyal support. You're a day one. The only fan. OnlyFans.
Oh,
That's another avenue.
That's for later on. That's for later on.
That's for later in the podcast.
We keep that on. I'm gonna make a.
That is the triple X version of the show.
Look, people, they come for the edgy thumbnail that doesn't exist, and they stay for the hope that your OnlyFans gets exposed by the end of this video. That's
yeah, listen. If you like the video, if you like this video now, I'll send you my OnlyFans in the DMs. That's the deal.
Mad. You heard it here first. So, just to confirm,
Just to not let this slide under the carpet.
if you like this video, then you will expose the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, I'll send my OnlyFans in the DMs. If you can provide proof that you've done it as well, then yeah.
Then
I didn't suggest what I actually had. Never said what was on my OnlyFans, Charlie. That's the crucial thing. There's nothing on it, but if I say it, then people might think that there's. Do you know what I mean? Oh, sorry, I was meant to say that in the private chat.
Oh God! Oh, wait,
No, sorry, just wheel it back. Sorry, yeah, if you could, like the video, I'll send you my OnlyFans in it.
Yeah, anyway. Right, that is a great tangent to welcome everyone to the first video of the title I like to say, An Influencer's Influence.
Hey! Could get some
Look
fanfare
at
in the
that.
background.
Look at that. The confetti right now, please. Boom.
Yeah, just pay it high, the editor. Come on, editor.
Yeah, in it. That's me. So
yeah, we'll forget about the fact it's you for now. We'll just listen.
if the editing's dead, just all you gotta do is look at my channel and know I've got 2 videos out, bro. So,
that's the reason. Give the guys some time.
Give the guys give me some slack.
Give it some slack.
I think the first thing I'd like to say firstly is thank you for joining me on
It's
this
quite alright.
adventure. We have been on the phone now for about 2 hours and just got down to business, which is great.
Yeah, we've been on quite a few tangents. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm looking back. I'm trying to pinpoint something we actually spoke about. And I don't really know, to be honest. But they're the best conversations where we're just chatting honk. Oh, we were reviewing our Facebooks from 2012. That was good.
That was great.
A different time.
I know for a fact if that's not already been exposed by your followers, that's something they want to see.
Definitely is going to be now. Let's be real. They're furiously searching
Block
on
the links.
Facebook. Niran _ cannot insert last name. Everyone knows my last name anyway.
No. Now we don't.
No, we'll erase it from history. I'll change the name. I'll change the name of the Facebook account so you can't find it.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I was going to say is how, although obviously extremely proud of you, how also kind of strange it is to be like, yo, my boy of like 15 years, is mate an influencer. Let's not beat around the bush right now.
My G, listen, I'll be real with you. I know it's the title of the series. Like, keep it as the title of the series because the series title is sick. I hate being described as that word.
Yes,
it's because I always think about like Instagram donnies who are like, when there's like some mad war going on. And some influencer just comes through and like just takes a selfie whilst there's like multiple things burning in the background. I always think of them. So yeah, get some of them. Get some of them. They'll have some interesting stories. Nah, it's it's mad. Just to explain as well to everybody, like me and Charlie basically we met time ago.
Yeah,
we were like kids, literally. We were like at school, best mates at school.
Year 5?
In like year 5. I think I joined your school in year 5, innit?
Yeah, I want to say year 5. We were young men.
Yeah, it was time ago. You say young men,
young boys even. They're both weird to say.
I was definitely not a man. I think I was like 9 or 10 or something.
Niran was a 22-year-old man, and I was in year 5, and that's when we.
Yes. You just haven't aged since then.
Yes.
You were just held back a number of years, and then somehow ended up in my year.
Somehow.
And we bonded. We became close.
Yeah,
Let's crack up.
If some call it grooming.
Yeah, we've just been. I didn't even think about that. It was a strange friendship at the time, but I learned to live with it.
I was actually like you see that story of this American couple like adopted this. They thought she was like an 8-year-old girl, but really she was like 30.
Oh my god! Wait, how old were the parents?
Let me have a look at it. Let me.
Because if the parents are younger, that is incredible. I'm not being funny. If I adopted a child thinking they were actually a child as like a 25-year-old and they ended up being 30 and being older than me,
dude,
nah, that would be the greatest thing.
Honestly, so that would first of all shit me up. Like, imagine going to bed every night thinking you've got a kid and really it's like it's just fucking Gary.
You got to tuck in the
pub.
bed sheets and it's like, night, mum. It's like, fam. Big man, you're literally a big man, innit? You're genuinely 33.
He's got a beard.
So miss me with that.
Yeah, look, I'm not here to adopt any adults. I don't want even kids at this moment.
I'm not here for just a friend. I wanted a child. That's too good. That's actually too good.
I beg no one clips that. That's the biggest one.
They definitely are.
No, please no.
Realistically, we've said some mad stuff already, and we're like 6 minutes in.
Look, it's what happens. It's the motion of the ocean, man.
I know.
But shit, have you heard of Natalia Barnett? Probably butchered that. So the claim is the US, they believe that she was 30, right? And the adoptive parents, I would probably were in their 30s as well.
What in the world? This is so strange.
Yeah, man. Like, there's a quote here saying that I was giving her a bath and I noticed that she had full pubic hair.
Oh God.
She's meant to be like 6.
That's so mad.
Yeah.
The thing is, yeah, I'm on an article about it, and she's like, I'm 16, not 33. She's literally 33. Like, I'm looking at her face. I'm like, fam, I'm really
You're
sorry
30.
to tell you, but you are.
Also,
I'm sorry.
I love that's her defense because they didn't adopt a 16-year-old either. So even
Yeah,
way,
actually, yeah. So yeah, even regardless, you've lied. You have lied. Like you
That's
can't. Yeah.
that's 10
No.
years. That you've
Yeah,
lied
that's
about.
still a lot. I'm so no. Yeah, you. I'm sorry. You've done it. I'm really sorry.
You've lied. You've lied about
That's
it.
so mad. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's madness. The more you know. The more you know.
Sorry.
So
That was a tangent and a half again. Goodness me.
I think the message so far should be, if probably get used to those tangents. Strap in.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna happen a lot. I feel.
Don't
Like,
think it's
when we have a conversation, this is what normally happens when we have conversations. So realistically, this is always going to happen.
this is what we because normally when we see each other, due to just the way that we're both really busy, is we normally meet and we're absolutely smashed. So we only chat shit.
You're doing a
anyway.
gig. I've arrived. I've already had like 4 cans. I'm ready to go.
Then we're
I'm
out
ready to rave my my breasts off
rave
in
them
the crowd.
till like
Rave
we
them off.
always go out after as well till like 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know,
Rock City or something.
mate, it's actually a highlight of my life. It's gonna start off sounding really sad, but it's not going to be, I promise. So a highlight of my life is you put out a picture of us on your Instagram,
Yeah.
and I remember just looking through the comments, 'cause I was like, oh, this is the most engagement I've ever been involved with ever.
Right.
And there's just one from this guy who just says, Charlie's rolling for sure. I'll put the picture up of me now, and to be fair, I mean, I wasn't, but I definitely see
You could
why he
pass.
thinks.
The reality is we were already bevved. That picture was taken like after you performed. We were just in the middle of the dance floor, and like I'm pretty sure that was like middle of the night.
Yeah.
So we were both a bit trolleyed at that point, realistically.
I'm that.
So
I've still got my outdoor puffer coat on. Like,
I think I had mine on. I can't even remember actually.
ridiculous. Good
No.
night.
Oh man, that was good. That was sick. To be fair, we didn't blaze. Just for what it's worth, we didn't 420 it up.
We don't do any of that. Stuff.
No dankage here.
We are very.
This is a dank-free zone.
Yes, this is a very dank free. If a dog came in here and started sniffing about, it's probably smelling like my dinner.
All he's smelling is pedigree. Am I right? He ain't
He's
smelling.
smelling
He ain't smelling ish.
A
He
clean
ain't
criminal
smelling
record.
anything.
That's what he's smelling. No convictions.
A blank document held by the police. That's it. That's all he's coming for. Oh man.
No shady business happening here.
No shady business.
Right. Okay. Right. Wait. So, the main point of this idea I had for this series was to just first of all just talk, just chat a bit of shit. I'll bleep that.
Yeah.
But it literally like about 20 minutes ago we literally said, oh, let's not swear, let's keep it clean.
No swearing. Let's try and keep the swearing to a minimum.
Broken instantly.
I was about to say listen. We've effed it. We've effed it. Well, I won't. Yeah. There we go. Self-censored.
It's a big L. It's a big L for the family friendly community. But yeah, it was to talk about to relate my music channel to your channel, and to also have conversation about how we found music helped each other and yourself on your rise to where you are today. So
Hey, wavy.
yeah, What a great idea. I can't believe
It's sick. I actually rate it.
Oh, thanks.
I do rate it.
Thanks, man.
I'm not just saying that because I'm on it. I actually do, because that sounded like I did. I was like, oh yeah.
Yo,
You got me as the first guest. Yeah, it's great. It's sick. No, it's actually sick. It's fucking lit.
here
Oh,
comes.
for God's sake.
What?
Oh, I've sworn.
Oh no, man. Oh,
Disastrous.
It's all,
It's all calm. It's all calm.
cool.
It's all right.
it's all cool. Insert here the my PayPal link to you. Like, what was it, like 400?
You paid me to advertise it. That's it. That's it.
Everything we just told is a massive lie. We haven't known each other for like 15 years.
Yeah.
I got.
He just paid me £100 before I came on, and I was like, you know what? I need to pay the rent this month, so go on then, geezer. I'll take that.
Either. I know.
Or Cameo, that website you paid to get messages or whatever. You just paid for a really long one. This is actually pre-recorded. We had this conversation like 2 weeks ago.
The amount of effort. This is the most effort anyone ever's put into a video. It's been 2 weeks in the making. So I guess onto the first kind of question I'd say is, music-wise, who would you say is your go-to artist? Just in any kind of vibe of day.
Yeah.
Who's the person that you go to just listen to?
Well, it's actually changed a lot over the years, because my music taste, when I first met you especially, was like very different to what it is now. You probably remember, like it was quite rock orientated to an extent.
Chili Peppers a lot.
But I was just because my mum. I was into quite a lot of like I love Linkin Park as a kid. I love Chili Peppers and stuff. It wasn't like, well, it wasn't full on rock. It wasn't like flipping like screamo, but it was just like kind of Indian rocks. Not Indian rock, indie and rock. Indian rock is definitely something that I would be open to checking out as well.
Oh, definitely sing.
Bangladeshi rock I heard was pretty good.
Oh
too. It's mad. What's it called? Yes, it's changed quite a lot, but now it's probably like Frank Ocean, realistically.
Oh yeah.
Because he makes like quite melancholic, like sad music. So if you're down or whatever, you can just kind of chill out to that or whatever. Or if you just feel like chilling, generally speaking. But also, it's just, I don't know. Even when like there's other songs like Pink and White or whatever that I listen to off Blonde, and like it's a bit more upbeat and happy or whatever. So it kind of reflects the mood. And then there's another guy called Steve Lacy,
Dude, yes.
who does like kind of more indie stuff, and he's like a sick bassist as well. I listened to him a lot. I saw him live like at the end of last year.
Oh, really?
And it was one of the best experiences of my life. Yeah.
Madness.
I remember I was there and I was just like, listen, big man. I was with my friend who didn't know who he was, but I was trying to introduce him, and I was like, listen, you don't get what's going on here, but I'm feeling all sorts of sensations. I'm vibing.
Honestly.
But yeah, it was great. So probably those two, I would say. But it can kind of vary.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Lacy, definitely. I am very jealous that you've seen him. I listened to a lot of his... I think it's literally called like Steve Lacy's EP or Steve Lacy's demo.
Yeah, it's his first. It was the one that's got like dark red and stuff.
Dark red and RYD and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
That song is such a vibe, man. I get down to that.
It's a bop, isn't it? It's so good. I'm happy that you like him as well. He released an album last year and like it's pretty good. There's one called Playground. The bass line on it is just mad. It's proper funky.
I'll look into that. I wouldn't say like I'm a mega fan, but I've
fair.
Playground. Let me just.
It's good that you know of him, really, because a lot of people don't. I'm like, get to know people who are watching. Get to know. That's the one thing I want you to take away from today's. That's a lie. Apart from liking the videos that you get my OnlyFans.
Yes.
Listen to Steve Lacy in it.
Yes, that's the most important thing here is
those are the morals of the story,
not the OnlyFans account. that's not the game.
Definitely not
if anything,
that. 1,000%. Don't.
please, guys, no.
Please.
It's a life lesson to all the guys out there. If you're feeling tusty, you haven't got to buy OnlyFans. It's all free out there.
This is what I've kind of not necessarily understood about OnlyFans. I mean, I get it's like more personal.
Yeah.
It feels like you're chatting to a bird or a guy.
Very true.
And it's like a personal thing. But like, I just don't know if I'd care enough.
I feel
real.
I
Do
get.
you know what I mean? Like, just do your thing and move on.
I
Innit?
don't-
You don't have to know
It's
the
strange
person.
to me. I don't want to sound like a boomer. And also, I know like a lot of girls do it because if they feel very good about themselves when they do it, and it's a good way to earn money. And
Oh, yeah.
obviously, do it to make get on that grind, make that money, and also if it makes you feel good. Yeah, man, I completely back that. But on the
1000%.
flip side of that, me personally, I don't think I could justify paying for nudes. No.
That's the thing. Like, it's we don't understand being a consumer. Like, be the person who's selling the stuff. Like,
Yes.
that's sick. Do your thing. Again, maybe I wouldn't do that personally,
yeah.
but again, if you want to do it and it feels like it helps with like self-esteem or it's just raking in cash, then listen, do it. But
Exactly.
I could never be a
Yeah,
consumer of
no.
it. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, never's a harsh word.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
I don't want to
understand it.
put myself out like I'm some Jack the Lad. Like, you know, I've been in a relationship like the last like nearly 3 years. So if anything, my game's dead
Yeah.
at the moment. But like,
Yeah, it happens in it after you're in a relationship. You don't know.
honestly,
how to talk
I
to
don't even know how I talk to G sometimes, man. You've seen it.
people. Yeah, I know. Nah, listen. Nah, you're sick. It's like I've just got this image now of you just messaging G like just on text and you're just like so hi. It's like what? He's like, I'm literally your girlfriend. What do you mean?
Maybe for years, man. What are you doing? What are you playing at?
Oh man.
But also, when I was single, like I was never like good. I never had a good like success rate or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
But
same.
at the same time, like I still never thought myself having to pay for anything like that. You know?
Yeah. Nah, I know. Yeah, I'm the same.
Not for me.
I don't know.
Not for
Each
me.
to their own, though. Everyone, listen. Everyone, do your thing. But I personally, it's not. I'm not anti any of it at all. It's just, I just personally wouldn't. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah. Like I'm not here to tell everyone to stop doing it. Equally,
Yeah, could you
I'm not
imagine? This is the new point of the show. Listen, everybody who's buying OnlyFans, stop it. Get some help.
Stop. Get some help, man. I think it is
I'm
mad
kidding, it's
though.
all good.
Some prices go to like £15 a month. Like
Yeah, it's
more,
raucous.
probably. It's ridiculous.
Have you seen those like sugar daddies as well that pay like girls like just what is it? Apple Pay girls like £2,000 or something.
Mate.
And it's just like, fam, how do you even have that money?
Yeah, man. In it. Also, like if you're willing to like, if you know that like sugar daddy is a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, no, legit.
I never understand why you'd want to invest so much money into someone that literally doesn't care. Like at all.
I know, yeah, it's raucous.
It's madness, man. It's madness. Imagine if you went on a date with someone
Yeah.
and you could tell they're not interested in you. Surely you wouldn't want to give them money afterwards.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. You just bun it off. You'd just be like, listen, clearly this isn't gonna work. You sound well. You wouldn't say it, but you know what I mean. Like that's the vibe, and then you never see each other again. My takeaway from a bad date is definitely not, fam. You know what? I should pay this girl like 3 bags.
Pay
Like,
money.
what do you mean?
Mate, I've never even seen like £2,000 or like £1,000. Like, if I
Can
see
you add in
£1,000
cash? Like what? Fam, what does that even mean? Like, what would it actually look like?
the
Imagine
most
handing, fam. That's raucous.
no, like, honestly, and imagine giving it away just for someone to like sit in Turtle Bay with as you just stare into those dead eyes, just buy them strawberry daiquiris.
Do you want a side halloumi? Yeah, you can afford it now. Listen, there you go. There's 1K. Just take that. Get yourself something special on the menu. Get that. You wanted a half chicken. Aye, listen. There you go. Have the whole chicken now. It's all good. No,
Take whatever you want. Set up a bar tab. I don't care.
Exactly.
It's a madness about money.
Aye, listen. You know when you asked me about like who I listen to all the time. Who do you listen to all the time?
I prepped you questions, not prepped answers.
Well, it's out of the turntables.
What no? I'd say at the moment it's a Weezer, which is really weird because I never liked him that much before, and then all of a sudden I can't get enough of him.
Right. Okay. Have they got new music? Have they got like recent music?
I've been listening to that old stuff, man. Like I couldn't even tell you if they got new stuff out. I've been listening to like their first album on repeat.
Yeah, the proper OG stuff.
Yeah, man, that's like the old. On the first album, I think it's all about good stuff like My Name Is Jonas and Buddy Holly. Don't know if you know that one.
Yeah.
Like, just screaming that I've become like a rebellious 14-year-old again.
I love it.
But I've got the Stevie Wonder on that as well.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Which is cool. I think because from like a video perspective, like his songs always have like such a sick bass part to them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just cool to at least attempt to play them. And also his music's sick. Like how could you not like Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, I think it's just like a universal, like everybody should like his music. No, they don't necessarily always do, but like they should. Like it's just vintage, like classic stuff. You should, I don't know.
Exactly.
Just at least respect it, because it's like the Beatles as well. Like
yeah,
you should just like, I don't know. There should be at least an element of you that knows about them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's no excuse to not knowing the Beatles. You know.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
My dad's favorite band, realistically.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I didn't know that. I think your dad has a sick taste in music, though.
Yeah, I think he loves his psychedelic stuff, so it's literally perfect, really. He's like big into like Tame Impala and other things as well.
All that good stuff, man. All that good stuff.
All that psychedelic good shiz.
All that good stuff you can't get enough.
Good stuff you can't get enough.
Oh, it's never enough, man.
But yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. Then like I went for like a big Queen stage.
All right, okay.
And that was a cool. Oh god, that was a cool period of my life, like where I just did nothing but listen to Queen, and I felt so like 80s.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's full. It's like almost going back to a different time of just different era.
Yeah,
it's so different
literally.
to the music that you get now, and it's also just like so big and powerful. Like all Queen songs are like ballads or huge songs that are known by everybody universally or whatever. So,
yeah. It's they're just, I think they're just timeless as well, aren't they? So
yeah,
you can
exactly.
just listen to it in any kind of year. So that's the same with the Beatles as well. I get why so many people like have them as their favorite band.
Well, it's what I've noticed recently as well. Obviously, like Nottingham based. There was I don't know if you've been to Beer Keller many times.
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Sick. They always play like, or quite often play like cheesy music and stuff. Like, there's definitely been a resurgence of ABBA in our generation.
Yes.
Massively.
100%.
Like so many of my friends like just outwardly listen to ABBA all the time. And I love it when it comes on in a club, for sure. When it comes on in Beer Keller, I'm there. Listen, get cheesemeup.com. I'm here for it. But I just find it mad that like there's different waves of like old school artists that just come back about in our generation. It's wavy. Like Queen as well, I guess.
Literally. I was going to say, like, I think Queen... I don't think Queen the Beatles must be like the only couple of bands that have never actually gone anywhere. You know what I mean? They've just always stayed. They've always been in music.
Always been there, yeah.
Which is...
Yeah, there's not really a time where they're less or more relevant. They're just there. They're just like a universal, like...
Yeah.
The Beatles are this band, and and that's it. There's no fluctuation. There's no like on or off or anything. It's just, yes, that is them. They're written in history forever.
Yeah, man, exactly. And I was just thinking then about bands that you'd probably put on the same pedestal, or people like Elvis.
Elvis, probably. I know obviously he was cancelled post death, but Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man.
Realistically, especially whilst alive, was definitely on that level.
See, I have on another tangent. This is probably a bit out there.
Okay.
But I have a really weird, like, cancel culture is one thing, but the Michael Jackson thing is weird because if we take cancel culture as a whole, I think it's some really good things. But equally, I think it can do some damaging things as well.
Yeah.
And so with Michael Jackson, I think the hardest part is because we'll never know for certain.
Yeah, that's the thing, innit?
It's like, I think, like, they know, like, Rolf Harris and them, like, cancel those people because they're messed up. And no way should be in the public eye.
Yeah.
But for, like, Michael Jackson was weird, but there's been no proof of it, and it's really hard to. Do you still listen to his music, or do you?
I'm okay. For a start, like, I'm quite a big believer in, especially in this situation where Michael Jackson isn't gonna profit from me listening to his music anymore.
Yeah.
With, like, the best will in the world. Like, I don't mean that to be, like, crass or harsh or whatever. Like, he's not going to. I always try and separate the music from, like, the art from the person. So when there was a lot of it can depend. Like, I think there's a limit to that, especially in this case. Like, if it was, say, Michael Jackson was still alive and it was proven, then yes, I think at that point I would. But when people when it's still, the jury's still out, or they haven't necessarily done something that bad, they maybe just been involved in some drama. But, like, well, I mean, obviously what XXX did was kind of bad, but he also showed that he could improve as a person.
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, I'm gonna separate him as a person from his art because I like his art. And equally, like, cancel culture doesn't necessarily allow for people to improve too. Like, if you just get cancelled day one for something that you could learn from and better yourself from, that's it. You've already been cancelled. You don't even get the opportunity to do it, which is a bit dangerous. But
yeah, man, that's a really good point, because I think there's recently as well. You look at James Charles and all that stuff that kicked off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they tried to cancel him so hard, and there was genuinely no reason for him to be cancelled because he's innocent.
That's the thing. Like, it came out, this whole drama, and he lost like 2 million subs in like 3 days, which is mental.
Yeah,
and that could have, like, ruined his name, ruined his brand, ruined his channel, ruined his source of income, whatever. I mean, obviously he was like a big name, so he probably had, savings or whatever, but still, like, it would have been very damaging to his image and shit. And then, like, everyone cancels him and stuff, and it comes out that he actually didn't even do anything wrong. And obviously he's been uncancelled, but I think it just shows that people shouldn't jump to conclusions so much. When it comes to these things, just like, so much of the stuff, this is another tangent, but so much of the stuff you see on social media is just inaccurate. It's just wrong. Just, like, think about it, just look at what you see, deep it for a second, and be like, okay, if that's true, that's kind of mad, but I'm gonna work out if it's true first.
Literally.
But yeah, that's like the James Charles thing in it, just like,
this is madness. It's really madness.
It can be dangerous sometimes, cancel culture. IMO.
Mate,
TBH. NGL.
TBH. NGL. Like, if you've ever TBH.
Like, if you TBH right now. RN.
If you relate to this extremely relatable conversation, drop a like right now.
Hashtag just relatable things. Do you remember
Hashtag.
those?
Oh my god, like on Tumblr.
Yeah. Tumblr posts.
Mate.
Oh man.
Oh, what, the fall of Tumblr, man? What happened?
Goodness
what happened
gracious.
to
That was a time. That was a whole different era of time, I feel. I feel like life has actually changed dramatically since then.
I was going to say for the better, but arguably for the worse.
You know what? Let's just bring back Tumblr. Maybe that's the way to get out of this terrible year, is just to bring back Tumblr.
Like, whoever owns Tumblr funded coronavirus thinking that if it's a secret, there's no actual remedy for it. It's the anti-vaxxers are right. It's not a real virus. It's just Tumblr.
The owners of, like, all the defunct social medias, like Tumblr and MSN, Bebo and BBM have all come together and just been like, listen, if we just create this mad thing, eventually they're going to work out what they need to do and they're going to have to come back to our websites.
They
It's
have
all
to.
coming through the 5G.
Oh my god. Oh, dude. I saw a 5G protest
Oh my god.
in Nottingham. Just to bring it back home.
Oh god.
It was
God.
actually, dude, it was mad.
Oh, I can't wrap my head around it. I can't comprehend it really. It's just it actually hurts my brain. When I think about it, I get a migraine.
Straight away.
Actually
No
hurts.
blue light glasses can save you.
Everyone's entitled to free speech in it, but I just don't understand what evidence there is. It's just like so many conspiracy theories. I'm not going to go onto a tangent. I'm ending this tangent here. But there's so many conspiracy theories, including this one, where it's literally just someone's just said something, and then even anti-vaxxing itself is literally a conspiracy theory. One guy came out one time and was like, yeah, you know what, yeah, if you vaccinate your children, they're going to get autism. And like, bare people just like, yeah, fair enough. That's it. The guy was a doctor. They took him off the doctor registry because he was chatting honk. And still people believe it. I don't understand. It's mad. Oh, God.
Mate,
sorry, that's my rant for today.
No, man. No, get it all out, man. Get it all out. That's what we're here for. It's actually insane, though. Like, there was a video of Katie Hopkins that went around that I saw of her, like, taking the piss out of the anti-vaxxers and stuff. And she's like, well, I'm not going to vaccinate my children. And it's like, well, I literally think there's literally no reason why you wouldn't or shouldn't. And if you obviously, as you say, you're entitled to your own opinion, but opinions aren't always
look
true,
at the facts. Just if you want to, you can't have a right or wrong opinion, but you can do a right or wrong thing, and right or wrong things are based on evidence. So if you want to do the right thing, vaccinate your kids, innit? That's all I'm saying. You can have an opinion on it, but madness.
It's not that hard to vaccinate. Like, I think if you're under the age of 12 and then at school and then at uni and you can prove all of those things, you get it for free.
Yeah.
So vaccinating your kids, at least in the UK, is free.
Yeah.
So why are you not doing it?
It baffles me. It honestly does.
It's
it's
a mad world, man. What kind of music do you think anti-vaxxers listen to?
That's a really good question, actually. What tunes do they play in the car? I don't think they do. I honestly, right. If you went into an anti-vaxxer's phone, I honestly don't. They wouldn't have Spotify installed, and the iTunes would be empty. I'm convinced they just listen to conspiracy theories on the radio in the car, and that's it. They don't actually listen to music. And if they do, they listen to country music or folk music, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think folk music is a hotbed for anti-vaxxers. I have no evidence to back that up.
We're calling it out now.
I'm saying it now, yeah? If you listen to folk music, chances are you're anti-vaxxer. I don't know, it's just the image I get in my head. It's just the image I get in my head of, like, it would be like, definitely more country music than folk, but...
Yeah.
Or
I
just
feel like if you hear that little ukulele was like...
little banjos in the background.
Ukulele.
Ukulele, oh, mate. I once tried to learn the ukulele from one of our friends from school. Because he could play.
How was that?
Sorry?
How was that for you?
It was an interesting experience. I found that it was actually quite, without being an arse, it was actually quite easy. Because it was just chord based. There's not really anything. You just kind of strum in the same pattern. And it's all kind of chords. I guess you could do more complex stuff technically, but like to actually sound good at ukulele, you don't actually have to do madnesses. Like you don't do ukulele solos. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think they exist.
Could you imagine if they did?
I hope they don't exist.
They do on like country music from like Texas.
Oh Christ. That's just enough. Was that the Mario theme tune?
Yeah.
There's, yeah, man. I mean, conspiracy theories are one thing,
But yeah,
but
have a conspiracy
think-
theory, but just have some facts for it as well.
that's the thing.
Like,
Like
conspire as much as you like, but honestly, if as long as there's some kind of, if there's some sort of stats that you can back it up with, then I'm here for it. But if it's
you've
just,
got to bring the facts.
if you're just saying something and then that's the end of the conspiracy theory, then I can't get on board with it. Really.
Mate, honestly, that's why the most interesting ones are like the most obvious ones.
Yeah.
So I know it's quite. We won't get into it because it's very controversial. But the most common ones, we all know what I'm referring to. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
If you look into it, there's a lot. There's actually quite a lot of like information that weighs in their favour.
I definitely recommend. I know I've just blasted them, but I definitely recommend like looking at conspiracy theories because they are actually super interesting. The ones that are like the most common ones are sick. Because there's like there is a lot of stuff that like you can look at and be like, whoa, okay, that is actually quite legitimate. They're well interesting. All the documentaries out there.
Yeah, man. Honestly, there's some that I looked at one today actually on the Joe Rogan podcast. I listened to one about like apparently Hitler escaped.
Right,
Germany.
okay.
It's like Colombia.
Wait, sorry.
Or like Colombia, I think.
Okay,
or some South American country.
Yeah.
And there's actually in this country, I know I'm absolutely buttering this up. I'm messing it up horribly, but there's like a whole community which just speaks German.
You know what? It's in Argentina. Is it in Argentina? Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, because there's a slightly because there's a couple of I remember when we were growing up, there was a couple of Argentinian places who had like German names. It's like there's just a random community of German people in Argentina. Same for like Scottish people as well. Like there's random Argentinian people that have the name McAllister, which is really weird.
That is really
but
strange.
yeah, it's mad. It's actually really strange. God, could you imagine?
Mate, yeah.
Just out there still in Argentina, just chilling.
Probably has some family, probably procreated out there.
That's mad.
It's madness. It is a madness. I think some things are weird. Not like I know obviously I don't want to get into it, but like, do you remember when like Bin Laden died and they just dumped his body in the sea?
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, there's no knowledge, there's no actual proof that it happened.
Like,
but it happened. Don't worry, guys. Listen, it's okay. We did it. Don't worry. There's no proof. And I know it. I know that, but it's okay. Honestly, just believe us. It's fine.
It's like the most childish thing as well. Is like where if you told like a 5-year-old to dump something that you were never meant to find, like, where would they put it?
In some water somewhere.
In the ocean.
Even if it was a puddle, just because they're a child, they'd be like, oh, okay. And it's like, no.
Put it in the puddle.
It needs to be deeper than that. But yeah.
It's just there's just so many things that I just think it's madness. It's absolute madness.
It is.
We're being lied to somewhere down the line. Like the Pentagon just released some documents about UFOs.
You know what? Yeah, I remember seeing this on Twitter, and I remember it thinking, the USA literally confirming that UFOs exist is like the 7th maddest thing to happen this year, and it happened in like April. So the first 4 months of the year, there was 6 individual things that were madder than UFOs existing. Like, it's raucous. It's raucous.
No one even cares about aliens.
Yeah,
wow.
That's the situation we're in right now. That's the situation at hand. Raucous stuff.
Dude, honestly, it's been a crazy year. It's been a crazy year. Madness as well. Like on the road to 500k.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool.
It's mad.
How's
it's actually raucous because like obviously we used like we've known each other for time. So often when we chat, puts me back to that time where like we were at school or whatever. Yeah, it's mad to think about. Well,
Dude,
I think I started in like year 11. Got that 100 subs. Man was out here. I was balling. I wasn't earning anything. That's a lie. I was getting like 6 views per video. Mum was out here.
Mate.
5 of them were my friends from school. My first 20 subscribers were people in our year.
Mate, that's the same though. Like if I went through my sub list, like it would all be just old friends.
Yeah, genuinely, it's mad. I think I went back to the start because you can basically now on the dashboard or whatever, you can look at like recent subs and then change it to all time and then oldest to newest. So I did that and I was like, fam, these are all just like, one was my dad, and then there was like you and like Sam, like one of our other friends, and like just random people from our year. For like the first 20, I was like, oh my god, I was so frauded my way into the first 20.
That's where I am right now on the first 20 subs.
It's a grind. It's hard. You've got a good Insta backing though. You've got the band. You've got loyal fans, man. Loyal fading blonde fans. I see that. Listen, I come to the gigs and see the same people giving you the eyes, even though you have a girlfriend. And I see that.
Yes.
I see that.
Mate, honestly,
it's all love. We love to see it.
It's mate. It's weird though. It is weird. Like, it's. I think on the comparison side of it, because obviously there's consistent people that do come to my shows, and you know, we'll leave the eyes a question, an open-ended question, but it's for me it's weird because I know that I've got those like 20 or 30 people that will just, you know, be really supportive of whatever I decide to do.
Yeah. But
do you ever think about or comprehend there's like 400,000 people out there that are effectively like my 20 people, and that will support anything, and like there's 400,000 people for you that would support anything that you do. Like, if you ever, that must be a weird thing to try and get your head around.
Yeah, it's mad. I think that's the problem. Like, I think often when you're people who like do YouTube or whatever, and it's fine because I used to think of it like this as well. You get so engrossed in it being like numbers based, in terms of like you wake up and you're like, oh, have I hit 500 subs yet? Oh no, I haven't. That's a shame. And you almost forget that it's actually a person. Like, it's kind of mad.
Yeah.
You forget that there's actually a person who's subscribing to you or watching the video. You look at the views and you look at the likes and you're like, oh, that's a good number. I've hit a good level or amount there. But then you actually forget. If I like my roommate Arav also does YouTube.
Yeah.
And like we were talking the other day, and we were like, if we one day we're probably gonna hit combined for the flat, we're gonna hit like 1 million subscribers. And if you like quantified that into actual people, how long would that line be of people? Like, if you just put them in a line, how far would 1 million people go? And I was like, raw.
Yeah,
that's mad.
It is
so
insane.
it can be really odd from that perspective. It's obviously really cool. I think the one thing that I'm envious from your perspective is the fact that you can actually see it live in the flesh. Like, I don't really get. Sometimes I'll just see someone on the street, but you like get to perform and you can play your heart out, and there's energy and stuff, and the people are actually there with you experiencing it, and you're experiencing them experiencing it, and that's just really good to me.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's like a shared kind of feeling of we're both kind of like, we can both completely acknowledge how cool it is to do. Like, I mean, Beat the Streets. Was it Beat the Streets?
Yeah. Beat the Streets.
I was fortunate enough to play on Rock City main stage just for like one song.
Yeah.
And there was probably like 1,500 people.
Yeah.
There. And that was a madness to see that many people. But on the flip side, like, it's also unbelievable. Like, literally, if I have my phone now, let me get it. Like, you uploaded a vid, like yesterday, it's got 115,000 views, you know, like, or at least it has on my phone. It's probably got more than that. That's my crusty Wi-Fi. But like,
big ups AOL.
I'm big up AOL.
On the dial-up.
Dude, yeah, unplug my phone. Get that Wi-Fi.
Your mobile. You have to unplug your own mobile phone, not even the landline.
Have to cancel my contract with EE to get on the Wi-Fi.
That's so good.
But dude, like, it's mad. Like, just pulling up a stat, like 12,000 likes and 897 comments.
Yeah.
And like that interaction and stuff is crazy, because that's something that I can't comprehend. Like, I think I got like 2 comments on my last video and I was gassed.
Yeah.
Like, that's sick. And I
can relate as well, because when I first started, I remember having this distinct, and this was even when I had like, this was like when I had like 400 subscribers or something. I used to have this thing where I'd upload a video, and if I got, in quotations, like, beaten to watching my own video, I'd be so gassed. It was probably when I had like 1,000 subscribers actually. And I'd like, you'd have the old upload screen and it would give you the link to the video, and I'd be uploading and I'd maybe be doing my own thing, or I'd be on my phone. If I'd come back after like 2 minutes or something and the video had been out and it already had 1 view, it would like make my day, because someone beat me to watching my own video or just checking that it worked or whatever, it uploaded fine. Those small things are still like the sickest things.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I posted my video. There was 2 things that really made that video worthwhile. The first one, there was one where it's like this girl that's learning bass as well, like, tagged my Instagram, like, she was like learning one of the songs that I put on, and that was like so rewarding to just see that this video has a purpose, like, for even if it was only her that took anything away from the video, like, it was good for her. And I guess, like, for you get that on, like, on an even bigger scale. It makes that, I guess that's the most addictive part of making videos so far for me, is seeing that it is making a difference for people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's the interaction. Like, if I ever, I do try and, like, I do tend to read the messages that I get on socials. I don't, like, reply necessarily. I just need to get better at that. But I do read them, and like, seeing those especially is like, it is sick. Just to see, even if it's just something that like they took away from the video, as in they learned from it, maybe like with the BLM one, or in just a normal situation, just like, you know, they found it good, they found it entertaining or whatever. It's really cool to see, again, like, actual people seeing the benefits of what you make, I think.
100%. I think as well, I think it's really cool, and it was definitely like a proud, really genuinely like proud mate moment, was seeing you, because I think like in the years and years and years we've been friends, like, we probably only had like 1 or 2 serious conversations prior to when we spoke about BLM and stuff, and like, it was really cool, and it was really just a moment of like, I'm trying to think of the best word, but like, just to watch you like just speak from the heart and so passionately was such an emotional moment as well. And it was so cool to see that a genuine person use their platform for genuine good as well, which I guess is a big positive of YouTube, but also it was really good to see you do that, which wouldn't have been easy either to do.
It was a very thank you as well, by the way. It was a pretty difficult video to make, because I remember, I think I made it like a few days after the like original catalyst for everything. And then and I sat down, because originally I wasn't gonna make a video about it, right? And I was just gonna post about it a lot on socials and stuff, and just try and do it that way. And like, obviously it affected me a lot in the days leading up to, and like when it happened, and the days afterwards were like really tough. and I wasn't gonna make a video. And then I remember I was planning to actually make a video, like just a normal, I think it was like an FTW or something. And I sat down and I was like, I actually can't make this. And it was this really weird, like, I can't make a normal video unless I make a video on this.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like I needed to actually talk about it, but in a serious way. Like, I wouldn't just be able, obviously, to joke about it. Like, that was not a thing. But like, I wouldn't be able to talk about it in a casual way in the middle of a normal video. I was just like, no, I actually, and then. Yeah. So then that realization happened. Then I was like, no, I actually just want to make it anyway, and I think I would have just made it anyway. Because it just meant a lot to me at the time, and I'd seen a few people, like I shout out to Joe Weller, who made a really powerful like short video on it, and a couple of others, I can't remember who, a couple of other like commentary guys and stuff, and I Tobe Jizzle as well. I saw his like stream about it. That was pretty sick.
Yeah. I saw that was powerful.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing. Like, the most powerful things are like just your own experiences. So I remember sitting down and being like, right, I'm not just gonna talk because I want to make sure this is like an actual educational video. So I sat down, I did some research, and I was like, right, how am I gonna talk? Like, what am I gonna say in this video? Like, what points am I gonna make? I didn't want to just be like, oh, you know, this. I obviously, this is how it is. Being me is a good starting point, because it's, again, like, people can maybe relate or whatever, or people can just listen and say, oh wow, that's what he experiences. But also, like, I knew that there would be things that I'd say and people would have this answer for it, which isn't really how it should be, but it's just like a lack of education or like lack of understanding. So like, you know, the fact that, oh well, you know, you shouldn't be going to a protest because of corona, or
which didn't even cause any spike.
This and that. Well, I mean, that's what I was so happy to see in the long term. It didn't really get spoken about because obviously nothing happened. But the fact that it didn't cause a spike, I remember being in my head just like, well, suck your nans. Everybody who was like talking about, oh, well, we couldn't meet up with family, but these lot can go to... I was just like, listen, whatever. But yeah, the video was tough, but I'm glad that it seemed to help, or, you know, and seemed to, you know... It was weird talking about stuff that happened at school, because I remember in my mind being like, I know these people didn't mean any of... I mean, I wasn't... It's not like, you know, we went to school together. It's not like I experienced any madnesses there, really. But it was just like the little stereotypes and things. And I remember being like, oh, man, I feel bad saying this, because I know they didn't mean it, but that's almost worse to an extent. It's not... They just thought it was, like, calm and cool, and I went along with it because I thought it was calm and cool, and you learn, like, later down the line, it's not. So.
100%. I think
Teach it in schools. Damn it, that will solve half the issue. Is if people just understand things more.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like leading on to. As well, like I don't remember myself ever. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't ever remember myself being part of those people that would jokingly say it.
Yeah.
Or in any way say it. But I mean, if I did, obviously, then I'm deeply sorry.
Don't worry, you didn't. Like, it was But I was fortunate for my dad to grow up in. My dad grew up in St Anne's, so as we know, in Nottingham, that's quite like a heavy like black community. Yeah. And so he grew up, and a lot of his friends, just like a couple of his best mates are black. So when I grew up with that, I would always call them my uncles and stuff, you know. Yeah. So it was something where I guess I grew up having that kind of. I know it's not. I wouldn't say. I'm really struggling with the word for it. Like with just the kind of knowledge of that there's no difference between people's skin color. You know, everyone's either sound or just a dick. That's the thing. That's what it splits down into, realistically. I think, exactly. I always, and I know it's not sympathy, because ultimately they're very judgmental of people like myself. But like I always can understand sometimes. Always sometimes, that doesn't make sense. But you know what I'm saying. I can sometimes understand when people who are from areas that are just literally solely white have a certain perception, because they just haven't encountered other ethnicities. So, like, they hear this stereotype about black people, for example, and then they don't have any sort of evidence to base anything else off of. They don't have any sort of counter argument. It's just this person told them that, or their parents told them that when they were a kid, and they were like, oh, theirs. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, you form your own opinions, but if they don't have people around them that are not white or that are from different backgrounds or whatever, then it's difficult. So that's why it's good to just educate in it. I feel like a lot of people, not everybody, there are people that are just dickheads, but some people don't understand or like react negatively or didn't get BLM at the start because they've never understood it.
Yeah,
which is fine.
exactly.
That's not their fault. But
I just think like I think ultimately it boils down to upbringing and I think education as well. Like I think racism is definitely something which is taught. And
yes, 1000%.
It takes no time to do your research into it, especially from my perspective of being someone that's grew up in like a middle class upbringing and being white as well.
Yeah.
I think like there's this video like it was about privilege, and it was like a 100-meter sprint, but like every time if you've got something you take like a step forward or something.
Yeah.
Really clever video, and I watched that and it made me reflect on everything else. It's like, well, yeah, I should take the time to look into like different issues and how can I help out with it. And I struggled to really get my head around the fact that it's 2020, like we categorically learn that things like slavery was absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
But we don't learn the impact that it had on the cultures that were directly impacted by slavery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we learn slavery was wrong, but we don't learn really why it was, or we don't learn how racism still continues to this day. And it's just really stupid.
I think a lot of it is the fact that there's not. It's basically that. It's not taught at a deep enough level. So there's obviously this understanding that, well, slavery was a bad thing, but there's never any context into, for a start, Britain's involvement in it. Like you never learn that actually at school because they always try and sugarcoat everything about the UK. Like I'm proud to be Nigerian, I'm proud to be English or British or whatever.
Yeah.
But they definitely leave a lot out of the educational system when it comes to the UK's hand in various different things. 100%. And it's like, I just think it would make more well-rounded people. Like, you're not teaching kids to hate the country they're from or not be proud of where they're from. You're just teaching them the history and, if anything, the growth that the place has made. I know there's still negative aspects and there's still problems that need to be dealt with, like society-wise, but it's obviously progressed massively. Like, you're teaching the kids that progression. Otherwise, they might just think, oh, the UK's been sound forever. It's not actually been the case. Like, I think it just should be more well-rounded.
100%.
But equally,
100%.
like, I think there just needs to be this open level. Like, obviously, like, not from when they're literally like 7 years old, because they don't comprehend race anyway at that age. But when you're getting into secondary school, just like in PSHE, just little things about this and that, like actual education of black history as well, like that's not taught. Like the only thing that I learned in relation to anybody black at school was Martin Luther King in history, and that was it. And it wasn't even really in depth in the civil rights movement and what it actually meant. It was just him as a person. So but obviously that varies on the school and like the whatever and the syllabus and shit.
But still, I think you make man, you make a lot of good points there. I think it's also really can be damaging to put the whole history of just one group of people into one man, when the movement was and like they teach it like it's over as well.
Yeah, they teach it like it's a complete thing of the past. In some instances, obviously it is, but it's still there. You know, there's still differences. Like I remember it's not UK related, but I remember saying in the video, like as as a person of color, I have to research where I'm going on holiday, for example. Like there are differences there, and there are differences in the way that, you know, people are stopped and searched and stuff like that. That just isn't. It's never taught. You just stumble upon it later in life, and I just feel like it would be very important, especially for. Yeah, I just think it'd be important for kids to actually, I don't know, to just know about things like that. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot in
100%.
PSHE about like society issues, but never really that. Never understood it personally.
Yeah, no, neither. And I think it's only been the last couple of years where I've taken it really upon myself to look into it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1,000,000%. Like
it's sick as well, by the way, because like obviously I think there's definitely. I remember when all this first started. Like I feel like there was people that were scared to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's natural. But ultimately, like all really, like I don't want to go to a I don't know, when I went to the BLM protest in London, one of the first main ones on a Sunday or whatever, I looked around, it was massively diverse. It wasn't just black people. I don't want to go and there's only black people there. Do you know what I mean? Because it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Like I want to know that like different communities are like, and in the same way that I would stand up for different communities that are marginalised in different ways.
100%.
So yeah, I'm glad that you're not afraid to learn about it, speak out about it and stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think your video had a big part of me being more vocal as well with that, because obviously it became a thing where it went from me sticking up for, you know, just equality essentially. You know, that's all the movement is standing for. To then me also seeing like one of my best mates like it, you know, be really passionate and emotional about it, and it made me double take and be like, you know, it made it, and it might sound weird, but it made me like, it gave that extra personal, like, even though my knowledge is always there that obviously it would impact you, it brought it home even more, and it was like, well, I need to stick up for just my mate as well, you know, like as well as everyone else.
Yeah, I guess that that's natural. Like, you see anyone that you actually know like deal with a problem that you know is there, but like it's actually happened to one of your friends, or like, you know, in any walk of life, like whatever the issue is, like whatever the person's gone through, when you see that friend go through that or whatever, I guess you think about it more, you're like, oh my god, it becomes more real, innit? You start you actually acknowledge it as a thing, rather than just, oh yeah, you know, you see it on the TV or you hear about it from other people that you don't really know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad it had that impact though.
Yeah, man. I think it had that impact on a lot of people, and as it should have done. And hopefully, I think because you share like a similar audience demographic, I imagine, of like different like football YouTubers to like Tobe Jizzle and like KSI and people. I know KSI not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But if you take KSI for example, like on his like Amigo videos and stuff, his fans are like, just without even double thinking, say like the maddest things.
Yeah. And
he'd just laugh it off, and they'd keep saying those things. But when he eventually addressed it and like stopped it, obviously now they've stopped because they know it's not a joke.
Yeah.
And hopefully it had that impact as well, when I'm not obviously accusing any of your fans to be racist, but if any of them had that tendency where they could think it would just be considered a joke, hopefully they've taken that away, that you can't just laugh at it.
Yeah, you can't. It's just, yeah, I think that's the thing as well. I think just acknowledging it and talking about it, and, you know, actually saying it as a serious thing, even just that on its own sometimes is enough. Because that's the thing, like with kids, they just think everything's a joke. Like I was the same when I was young. Everything was funny. Like, you know, you're 13 or something and the maddest thing gets said, or 12 or whatever, and it's just funny. But like, again, it's just that education of them knowing that isn't actually a joke. Like, you know, kids will be harsh to each other, but that there's levels to it, and that is just a level that's just not a thing. And if you teach that, kids will be like, oh, okay, fairs. Realistically, it's just they don't know any better. Like, it's not that they're inherently, they have this belief or that belief. Like, they're not gonna, like 90% of them aren't gonna carry that on into actual adulthood. Which is why it's so important, because then they might get to being an adult, and, you know, they might actually not know any better, and then that's when it becomes problematic. If you just teach it in schools, like, that's it. All you got to do is teach it in schools. I don't understand how this isn't like more of a thing by now.
Honestly,
like, kids will understand so much more.
100%.
If they just learn it when they're young. because then that's it. Unless they do have an influence that is really, really negative, they're just not going to carry that mentality through to their actual life.
Yeah, and they have to. I think that's why it's really important to call out your friends and family on it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I know people are like, sorry, you go.
No. I was just gonna quickly say, like, it's an awkward conversation, but it's got to be had. Ultimately.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I know people are scared to have it, and that's the thing, because you never know how they're gonna react. They might react negatively, but the reality is, if they react negatively, then they probably shouldn't be your friend anyway. But equally, it can just be awkward. But if you explain it properly, and just say why it means a lot to you, or why you felt something when that person said that, then they should be able to take it positively. It should be fine, especially family.
I hope so.
Like friends, if you're young, friends might just be like, oh well, it's just banter, listen, that could easily happen. But if you just keep calling them out on it, then eventually the message might hit home. But if a family, if you're calling out a family member like a grandparent or whatever, then
yeah, literally. And I think there's like the forgotten generation is what I call them. Like the people that are like 70 or 80.
Yeah.
The 90s. Like, as size it is, like, accept, like, I'd say they're genuinely maybe too far gone to like convert.
It's that's the thing. I think it's obviously, again, that's the problem. Like when you're in a much older generation, like, it is just impossible to learn things. Like, with not in a bad way, but I mean as in you've just been alive for so long, you've experienced so much. Your opinions and thoughts and ideologies are set in stone. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not going to get molded, for right or wrong. Like, whatever, it's just the fact of life. Once you've been alive for so long, that's it. That's who you are. You're not going to develop. Like, I remember my dad had it when he first joined, because my mum's side is completely white. My dad had a similar thing, and it wasn't like anything really bad, but obviously there's terms that have gone around for the black community over time that have been said over a certain era, and then been decided that they're not actually okay, and then the next thing comes along and that's not okay, and then you know what I mean. And they went with one that had kind of already passed, and he was like, okay, I don't want to be I don't want to be associated as that. And to be fair to them, they actually were like, oh, okay, fairs, and and changed what they said in the term, because they just didn't know any better. But they were slightly younger than that generation we're talking about. I feel like if you got to that level, then maybe you're just so used to it that almost you'd say it just out of habit rather than,
Then, yeah, I think that's horrible that your dad had to explain it as well.
I think,
but
the problem is, and everyone is always like, oh, you shouldn't have to explain it, but we're the ones that understand it, so it wouldn't make sense for us to not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I made that video, all the comments were like, oh, I feel so bad, you shouldn't have to explain this, which is true, because in an ideal world, it just shouldn't even be a problem.
Yeah.
But it is a problem, and it affects me, so I know how to talk to people about it or educate people about it. Like, it wouldn't necessarily make sense if someone who didn't encounter it explained it to somebody else who didn't encounter it. I would want to be the person who explains it. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Not all the time. I've given up on educating people now, because if you don't know now, it's been like 2 months, fam.
Yeah.
Since the case, if you don't know now, big man, you're never gonna know. Or if you're not trying to know, if you're not at least trying to research it, then it's a wrap, innit?
Yeah, it's game set and match, bro. Like,
you just done out. I'm sorry, mate. Not completely, but do you know what I mean? Like, if it's been explained to you multiple times and you still don't get it, then
yeah, it's like people who can still see the stuff, like when the graffiti in Manchester was defaced, was it last week?
Yes,
yeah. And people were still saying that was not a problem in England, like it's an American problem. And it's like, dude, you're so wrong.
I think this is another big part of it as well, is that so many people don't want to accept that it's a problem, and that actually really concerns me, because I know that when it's a double-edged thing, because not only are you factually incorrect, but you're using it as a defense mechanism, probably because to hide what you believe. Like, if you're if you can see stuff that actually happens in the UK and say there's not a racism problem in the UK, then you either think that what's happening is acceptable, so that's wrong already, so you're already racist in that situation.
Yep.
Or you're just trying to distract and belittle and demean the movement, which to all intents and purposes is the same thing. You're just going about it in a different way.
Literally.
So I've always been really concerned by people who say it's not a problem.
Yeah,
that's always a massive red flag. If you say that to me, I'm like, okay, it's a wrap. I'm probably not going to talk to you again after this.
Understandably. It's even when people say like stuff like, "Oh, it's not as big as a problem," it's like we're still acknowledging the problem's there. So why wouldn't you want to get rid of it? Why would you want to accept it?
That's in it. Yeah, I know. That's yeah. It's like it's a problem. Like it's almost like this whole thing of like not being asked to change something because not everything's. Why would you not want something to just be better? I don't understand. Like, what kind of weak mentality do you have in your life if you see a problem and you're like, it's worse somewhere else, so just deal with it there. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, innit?
Or the element of like, well, if you don't like it here, then don't live here. Like, that is the worst, the worst take that there's ever been in history. Like, you're acknowledging that there's a problem, and you're saying that that I don't like it, but you're actively telling me to just move away from the problem rather than become better. Fam, oh, it's mad. I find it mad.
I think it's crazy that I'm fuddling my words, but the whole kind of thing of just go back then. It's like, that is the most uneducated thing, because it wasn't even a choice to come here in the first place. Like when you go back far enough, like, you know,
you're probably telling the person to go back to somewhere that was colonised by the UK as well, for a start.
Yeah.
So that's already bad enough. If you're telling me to go back to Nigeria, then big man, I've got some bad news for you. Because the reason I'm here probably is because what you did to Nigeria. I immediately when someone, obviously I don't think I've really ever had that said to me personally, apart from maybe in like Twitter, like DMs or something. But
which is just
keyboard warrior, like it's
stupid.
not real. It's not real life. You wouldn't say that to me in person. But if like I know that anyone who ever has that like opinion does not have any GCSEs. I know you didn't make it to year 11, fam. I know that for a fact, because it just doesn't make sense. Like you clearly don't know anything about history if you're gonna say that, and you clearly don't know anything about just general life, because how okay, yeah, you know what, I've decided I don't like England. I'm just gonna move my entire life, my job, my family, and everything. I'll just go back to Nigeria. That seems like a very logical next step.
Seems
why would
feasible.
I not just want the place that I live in to be better and be kinder?
Exactly. And it's literally just those two words at the end, like, be kind. Like,
yeah, literally.
All it's asking for is just, you know, please.
And to listen. That's another crucial thing. Like, if you hear someone who is affected by the issue they're talking about, just listen to what they say. And if you listen to what they say and you still decide with factual evidence that you're not having any of it, then listen, that's on you. But at least listen. Like, the amount of times I've like been in a situation where like I'm trying to explain something or whatever, and I can tell the person's just not taking it in, and it's like, why are we even having this conversation? Because I'm just not talking to anyone then, or you're not actually willing to learn about it. That's a crucial thing. Just listen.
That's got to
face.
be literally, that's got to be the most frustrating thing as well. If people just aren't open to hearing your anecdotes on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like, I'm qualified. Trust me.
Yeah.
I've got a PhD in everything. Nah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I love that.
No, man, we can't take that stance on it. It's got to be. It's not good.
No, it really
undermines our whole like half an hour.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, yeah. No, I'll take it. Wheel it back. Last 10 seconds.
Wheel it back.
Yeah, nah. It's just, yeah. What I will say is, to end on this segment on a positive note, is the fact that this is still a thing. Like we're having this conversation, yeah, 2 months or like 40 days or 60 days or what, I can't remember what the actual day count is now, after everything kick-started, which in my lifetime, and when I asked my dad, his lifetime as well, or conscious lifetime, is the longest time this has ever been in the public eye. Like, usually this sort of thing happens in America, the police are a bit heavy-handed, and it blows over after like 10 days to 2 weeks. Like, we're still here 8 weeks later, 2 months later. We've had our 6th of the year. And I know we're all in lockdown and stuff, but this is still a massive, massive debate, and there's still protests going on. So let alone when the protests maybe end in like a month, this is still going to be a talking point till the end of the year, which I think is huge, and indicates like actual real progress just in itself. Like, even if people, like certain people don't change their mindset, the fact that we're having this debate and that people have changed their mindsets so far after the fact is mad. That gives me a lot of hope.
100%.
That like either when this inevitably next happens, that we'll still be talking about this and it will just carry on like a snowball effect, rather than just like dying down and then waiting for it to happen again in a year. I think, the fact that we're still talking about it is actually, whilst it's such a massively negative thing, I think that in itself is a massive positive.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that to take away from what happened in May is the fact that the people that need to or that can make the biggest change is like the people, you just average like white dude who just sits in his room and thinks, because bro, like if you ask me at any point in my life, like you think, oh, are you racist, I'd always say no. But if you ask me, are you educated, I'd say no as well. Like, I'm not educated about it, and like you can know yourself that you're not racist, but you also have to be, you know, anti-racist, and you have to be clued upon it, and you have to be active and stand with everyone that's going through it, and let them know that, you know, I've not got the solution, unfortunately, but I know you've got me standing with you, and I'm gonna do what I can to get the big people in at the top to make the change and carry it through the system. Yeah, which
that's the thing, and that's why I'm so proud of like our generation as well, because ultimately we are the people that are gonna end up being the big dogs. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna be the guys in, well, not me and you personally. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't want to wear a suit. I like a suit at a wedding, but and like a big sort of. I couldn't wear that every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a businessman. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, like our generation is ultimately so much more open than the generation before, and it's always going to keep getting more open and more understanding, more diverse every single iteration. So it just in itself, just you saying that, and like lots of other people in our generation knowing that and understanding that, there's only so many people that can remain negative and pass that down. Eventually they're just going to get weeded out. Like, I know that sounds like it's the most casual way of saying it, and it's actually quite sad when you think about it, but it's true. There's eventually a kid who was raised by parents who aren't that open is gonna go to school one day, and he's gonna meet this kid, and he's a black kid, and he turns into his best mate, and then immediately, bam, that's a line of generation that isn't open, that has become more aware of the world and more, less tunnel vision. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just going to continue happening over time. It's why our generation is so much more diverse, or like so much more. I keep saying open. I need to think of a different word, but you know what I mean.
No, you mean last. Yeah. Just more. Yeah, I guess open
understanding.
Is the best
I guess.
Word. And just more considerate and
yeah.
flexible when it comes to their mindset, not always being right. You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. It can only be positive. It can only get better.
Exactly.
Because just naturally over time, the people who are old, the older generation now that lived through the old and the 70s when the civil rights movement had only just been passed, and or even even before that when it hadn't been, and they were growing up in a time where there was actual segregation, or they were growing up in the 70s and 80s where there wasn't segregation, but it was still definitely a lot of judgment and a lot of stereotypes, a lot more than now. They're eventually gonna, you know, whatever, they're gonna move out of the power, and it'll be the people that in our generation that are much more understanding that take on those roles. So
yeah,
man,
that day can't come fast enough, man. Can't come fast enough, bro.
It's about to be lit, boy.
2038 is going to be the best year of your life, bro.
They are buzzing. 18 years. How old will I be in 18 years? So I'm 20. I'm 22 now. It's actually really easy. It's actually really easy maths. I'll be 40. I didn't really need to think about it that much. I'll be 40. God, you'll be 40 in 18 years.
40. That's when we reach the 420th episode of this.
We'll come back again and look over the last 18 years since we did episode number 1.
We'll see what's changed, what hasn't changed.
What's cracking?
I hope a lot. I hope a lot.
I hope a lot has changed. Yeah.
I'm gonna
18
set a reminder.
years, man. Jesus.
Yeah, it's madness. Do you reckon that's when Elon Musk will be in his prime, bro, and we'll be like, we'll have like Spotify implanted in our brains, and
and Teslas that can actually fly and just go to different planets and stuff, and you just press a button and it's like, oh, I'm cool, I'm levitating now.
Yeah, literally.
It's gonna be lit. It's actually gonna be like the future films that they made in the 90s, like expecting now to be like, and instead we just have some mad pandemic and people protesting about 5G. Imagine how disappointed the producers of those movies are going to be. 2020, they were expecting like hover cars and flipping, seeing movies in your eyes.
And we got
like
Justin Bieber singing about yummy stuff.
Yeah,
dude, this must be literally the most disappointing thing. Is you write like Back to the Future, like a flying skateboard.
Yeah,
and really you've got like people posting ugly photos of the hashtag until tomorrow.
There's people with toilet rolls trying to do keepy ups with them on Instagram stories. That's the future that you should have written. How depressing.
Oh, how did it get so wrong?
I know. Let's go back. Let's go back again.
Back to 1997.
Man.
It's been crazy, man.
That'll be lit.
That's what we need to be.
You know what? I thought about 18 years, and it for some reason, that's like, I didn't realise this yet until I thought about it. I've been playing guitar for 12 years. Like 18 years a minute ago just sounded like bare. But I started playing in 2008. That's 12 years. Like you've been playing like guitar and bass for about, like bass less, like a bit more recent, like a little bit more recent. But you were playing guitar, I'm pretty sure, when I started as well. Because you originally played guitar.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I remember I used to come to your house and you'd have a little acoustic.
We used to have a little jamming session on that red guitar and the...
Oh
and
my,
the
yes.
Oh, what a guitar.
I never had a good guitar until I was like literally 19.
No, dude,
like the guitars that I grew up playing were so clapped. That's why I'm such a... To say I've played for 10 years or whatever, I'm not actually as good as I should be. Because the guitars I played growing up were so decrepit.
Mate, you
and
say
just
that.
Shit.
I loved that red guitar.
The red, the one with the silver flames on?
Yeah.
This is the thing. Aesthetically, it looked amazing, but to play, it was horrendous. Like it was so sharp. Like the fretboard was just like it didn't wear down ever. Like when I first bought it, I was like, it won't, might cut my fingers when I'm doing bar chords every now and again, but it'll be fine. It just never did. I should have just got it sanded down or something.
Yeah, literally. Man.
Go into wood tech in year 9, just like, don't mind me, mate. I've got my guitar here.
Just gonna sand my guitar down, don't mind me.
Accidentally just cut it in half.
You can build another one, mate.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Build another
man.
one. Wood tech, that was the biggest piss take.
Oh god, honestly.
That whole tech building, I've got nightmares.
It was just it was just that one big block, wasn't it? Just shit. It was just
wood tech.
It was just all so grey. Like, even the subjects were just grey. Apart from food tech was alright, but they just didn't actually teach you how to cook. They just said, right, listen, bring these things in, and then we'll make them. And then we just copied the teacher making them, and then that was it. There was no like actual skill involved. Yeah, there was no learning. It's not like you had to go home and be like, right, I'm going to research this recipe or something.
I remember distinctly we made pizzas in like year 9.
Yeah,
and we made the dough, and then we had like a month off. So we all got this frozen dough out, and we spent a whole lesson like just defrosting the pizza dough.
Oh my god! You know what? I actually think I remember that.
So boring.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was just a complete disaster because we couldn't even. It's like, did you not try this last year with the last year's students? Like, how do you not know? Like, I don't understand. It was very, very strange. Yeah, I remember.
It would be the teacher's job, wouldn't it, to take them out like the night before or something?
Yeah. It's odd. I remember doing apple crumbles as well. Mine was clapped. Mine was absolutely awful. I remember taking it home and being like, "This is shocking."
Straight in the bin.
Just straight. Yeah. I just put custard on it and ate the apple bits, but the crumble itself was shocking. It was like overdone, but also chewy at the same. It was just mad. It was just a very man. I love an apple crumble now.
Oh, dude, apple crumble right now. Oh my god.
One like and we'll get a. We each get an apple crumble. If you like the video, someone will deliver us an apple crumble right this moment.
No, there's 2 of us, so if we both like the video, we get apple crumble, man.
Shit. We've hacked the system. We've broken the system. This is incredible.
I also realised 2 things. The first thing was we never got a like goal for the OnlyFans, so that's just open to interpretation.
Yes, yeah. The viewers can decide. The viewers can decide how many likes.
How many likes gets to OnlyFans. The second thing is, I had for the first 45 minutes, I had a loop playing on my where I'm recording my audio. Yeah. So luckily, I've recorded my audio twice, just in case one went wrong.
Yes.
So for the first 45 minutes, I must have been recording over myself.
Oh my god. I'm so glad you got a backup.
Honestly, imagine just having no audio for the first, just you and then not me.
That would be it. It would just be a wrap. That would be the end of the podcast. I almost actually recorded yours as backup and I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. Dude. I'd have been kicking myself if you'd only had one.
Oh no, it's cool. Like by the grace of God, I somehow remembered to record 2. Thankfully, all the serious, steep stuff we've got on nice quality, and all the just chatting shit is on the hopefully not that bad quality. So
okay, that's cool. That's
we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out.
That's the lottery. That's the lottery we play with this podcast.
Either way. It's mate, it's been really nice. It's been really good.
It's been a good catch up. It's actually been sick. I feel like we should have like a 10-minute music chat at the end, like if this is the end, because we've touched on music a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you could make it like a thing at the end of each podcast where you like have a proper deep conversation, like, or you like ask just like 5 quick fire questions or something to wrap it up.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I'm not just a dead haircut.
No,
I'm glad you went with the nice option. I said dead haircut.
Well, look, I my Twitter's full of Niran insults, so I'm here to build up the confidence, not just destroy it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Honestly, we were talking before we did this, because we've been on the phone for like 4 hours. We talk about, I have like a private Instagram, and I got like this follow request from just this random Instagram profile, Clap Niran, and I was like, this is on any other Instagram profile of mine, my base one, my
your actual
just
one,
my actual one. But no, my
your literal personal one. Just has memes of you on.
Literally, there's awful photos and got 20 followers. That's all it is. It's just for my OGs, but I didn't accept the request.
That's fair. That is fair.
They want this person to know what I do.
It was just funny. Like, I just kept getting the odd DM from like friends and stuff, or people that I know on Insta, and they're just like, "Is this you?" It's like, no, bruv. It was just so funny. I posted it on Insta as like on close friends.
Yeah,
to open. And it was just hilarious.
This isn't me.
I just wanted to confirm to my mates, this isn't actually. There's still people that follow it, and it came up on my Insta page, and this girl who was in the year below us that we went to school with liked it, and I was like, fam, does she think that that's me that's like posting this? I feel I message her and tell her, listen, this isn't actually me, I swear.
It has like nearly 200 followers.
Yeah, I know. It's actually wavy.
It's following better people. It's got a few followers. I mean, the pictures, some of them
they leave a lot to be desired.
Maybe they've done you a bit dirty on some of them.
They really have. I think that's the whole point. Is it's just really clapped pictures, which I actually like. I'm a big fan of that concept as a whole. I wish I'd thought about it actually. I wish I'd thought to do that.
There's one I'll put over the top of the audio now.
Okay,
and I think it's they've got a story. Oh, they've done even dirtier.
Oh, for God's sake! How can they even do me dirty? How can they even do me more dirty than they have before?
I mean, I'm gonna take a screenshot and just keep that
for personal use.
Yeah. That's for after the podcast.
We'd love to see it.
But okay, yeah, music. Let's go back onto music. So 5 questions. Five is quick fire off the top of my head questions. I'll ask you now.
Hit me.
If you could go to any gig throughout all of history, what gig would you go to, and why?
Boy, does a performance at a festival count as a gig?
Yeah, like
as long as it's like, one artist. If it's one artist.
Yeah, no, yeah. It could be any kind of venue or festival, but like
a live show.
Yeah.
I would love. I think I'd love to go to Woodstock for that Jimi Hendrix performance.
Yes.
In the 60s, like, because it's proper hippie. Not that I'm actually hippie, but I think I just love to experience that culture for a start. Yeah. Also, Jimi Hendrix is just a national treasure and one of my heroes. Yes. And just being able to say that you were at that would be incredible. And it was also just an incredible performance as well. That's definitely number one. As in the here and now, I'd go and see Frank Ocean. I think I've said it so many times. Yeah. It's probably really boring by now, but he doesn't do much live music, and I definitely need to see him live before I die. Yeah, man. Yeah. So my short answer is Woodstock. Basically, that's what I was trying to say.
Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. That'd be a pretty sick gig. Okay, one artist you could bring back from the dead. Which is a tough one. You can answer the same answer as well if you want.
Okay, I'm actually not gonna. I don't know. Oh, actually, okay. You know what? This might be quite a surprising one, but actually, okay. I'm actually wait. No, let me just think 5 more seconds, just in case there's someone else.
We've got all the time.
Nah, listen. Nah, okay. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna say Amy Winehouse.
Ooh, interesting decision.
Not just because of this. Obviously, I liked her music a lot, but actually just because of lack of potential as well. Like ultimately, she only was able to make like, what was it, Back to Black, and then that was like the one main album. There was a second? I can't remember. I think it was 2 albums in total, but one like mainstream one.
Yeah.
I might be chatting honk there. It might have been 2 mainstream ones. I'm not sure, but obviously she was so young and stuff.
I think it was...
I just feel like she was so unique and so different to everybody else, she could have had the maddest long career and just put out just consistently incredible different projects and different music that just is so unique and stuff. That I feel really sad that she was never able to do that.
Yeah.
Basically. There's obviously plenty of artists that are like iconic and stuff, like members of the Beatles or whatever, that you could bring back, but I feel like she was like so unique and went so early that it's like, it's almost that it's the loss of potential. It's the loss of the amount of music she could have made that we just never got now because of that.
Yeah, that's something that you know what, that sounds bad because I wouldn't have even she wouldn't even come to my mind, but when you say her, it becomes such like an obvious like contender.
I think it's still an out there one. Like in terms of like all the artists ever. Like I guess I get that she wouldn't necessarily. That's just the way I always think of that question of like, who do I wish I could hear music from again? It comes down to the people that we didn't hear enough music from. The people who made their music and now aren't here. It's obviously very sad because they're icons and stuff, but they were able to at least make a lot of music that touched a lot of people whilst they were alive. Whereas I think she wasn't actually given the opportunity to be able to.
Yeah. See, I feel like,
who would you choose?
It's really tough because there's so many artists that have unfortunately died so young. I think if I was looking at it from your perspective of an artist that has really hit home with me and has not produced a lot of music whilst they were alive, like, not to sound like the ultimate e-boy, but like I was and am like a huge Lil Peep fan. So
yeah, okay.
Like when he died, I was devastated, and he had such good music to the point where he was maturing with it as well. Like he was working on big stuff with like you see him working with stuff like with Marshmello and his big time producers, and it's like, well, what would he have achieved if he was still alive? So from that perspective, I'd say him. But if I'm looking at an artist that has been there consecutively and consistently throughout my whole life, like I probably have to give it to, like, say Kurt Cobain.
I thought you might say him.
Yeah, like as you know, I was a big Nirvana diehard. But yeah, I just think he's one again who I would have been really interested to see where else he would have gone, because I don't think he would have just stopped doing music.
Developed as well. Because obviously we got out of that, we got Foo Fighters who were very different. Like I would love to have known, because grunge only really lasted for a very short period of time. It developed into things that were kind of similar, but that as it's kind of died with Nirvana, really. I don't know whether that's, well, okay, maybe a little bit after that.
I think that's a fair enough statement, because bands like, if you look at, I think it was like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and stuff, but they changed their sound like to fit more with modern music as well, which I know not completely, but they made their songs less depressing.
Yeah. At least. I think I suppose it carried on. It just kind of evolved after that, probably. But also another contender that I only just thought of, actually, which I really should have thought much earlier, but I still would have said Amy Winehouse. Probably Tupac. Just because of how, like, just also as a person, I feel like I would love to have seen how he developed as a person, because he was very woke and very like ahead of his years. I remember seeing an interview, like my dad showed me an interview that he did when he was 21. He was talking about the system and how difficult it is for black kids to grow up and stuff, and looking at it from a very political standpoint. And I was like, wow, he actually knew his shit. Like, as much as I'm 22 now, I probably still wouldn't be able to say the stuff that he was saying in that, and he clearly had been speaking like that for a while, and you know, having these topics on his mind and making music about it. So I would have loved to have seen where he went, like whether he would have gone maybe into just stayed in his lane and musically, or whether he would have been like much more woke musically, or whether he'd gone into like actual politics, or like it would have been interesting.
Look, definitely a lot of doors open for him as well. Like, he was a very clever man, very influential for like for just anyone that wanted to listen to him as well. I think it was inspiring. As well, Biggie, could argue Biggie as well. It's something you could bring back because his music was good. Good music.
So influential for like early US like rap as we know it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Both those guys mad influential.
There's a lot. There's definitely a lot. Okay, so I'll ask this one as probably the last one, just because my laptop is dying on me.
That's cool. Three is a good round number.
It's a dinner party. You got a dinner party.
Yeah.
And you have 3 spaces. Who invite into that party and why?
Okay. Oh God, who am I inviting to this party? Do they have to be alive or?
No. They can be alive or dead.
Okay. Oh my goodness gracious me! This is a ridiculously difficult question. Holy moly! I would invite Tupac probably again because he just seemed as if he was one of the most interesting people musically that we've witnessed. Like, just interesting in terms of like, I want to hear your life experiences. I want to hear just your thoughts on everything. Like, I want to just learn things from you. Oh my god. An artist that I really like, or that I just find legendary. Maybe. Oh man, this is so tough. This is such a difficult question.
There's no
maybe. There's a couple of people like I'm gonna give honorable mentions. There's a couple of people that I would choose just because I think they'd be entertaining as shit. I just think they'd be really funny. I don't know if you know him, but Thundercat.
Yes.
The
legendary
bassist is just so funny. Like, he's just hilarious. And also he could maybe teach me how to play bass like him. So he would be up there because he's just a funny guy. Mac Miller always seemed like a very interesting person and very complex, but also very entertaining and very funny and very charming and stuff. And again, just the opportunity to talk to Mac Miller would be insane.
Would be awesome.
And then maybe Childish Gambino as well, Donald Glover.
Yeah, that's
just
a
because
great
he's so
shout.
talented at everything, and I'd hope that some of that maybe rubbed off on me just by association, or like just if I put my head like on his shoulder or something, like it might transfer by like osmosis or something. So
mate, even like Tyler the Creator would be joke to have.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure, him as well. So I know I've hijacked the question here with just bare people, but Tyler the Creator, because he's again very entertaining, very funny. A$AP Rocky probably for the same reason.
Yeah.
Going back like the original 3, they're honorable mentions. The original like actual 3, Tupac, John Lennon. I've kind of a similar reason to Tupac, but also just like his experiences of being in the Beatles. Like, wow.
What be insane.
And yeah, legit. And then oh man, I honestly don't even know who I choose for the third person.
It's a tough one, man. Got one more space. Got one more space. One more space.
I need more space. Honestly, just dash everybody. All musicians ever, just dash them around the table. You know what? Just for the again, you know what? I'm here for the experiences. I want to hear musically their experiences. Dash Madonna at the table,
dude.
Or Prince, either of the two, because
just see who turns up on the night.
Again, yeah. Whoever turns up, whoever accepts my invite out of Madonna or Prince, just give me your life experiences. I just want to hear everything that you have to say about the music industry, about your lives, about making music, about just being you. I'd just be fangirling in the corner. Like they're actually at the table. I'm just at like a little bench. like a really small bench in the corner of the room,
Just watching.
just watching on as they have their conversation. Like I'm not even part of it, but I'm just texting from the corner like, wish you were here. But yeah, probably that was the sickest and most difficult question. But yeah, probably that. I'm probably missing people, but yeah.
It's bound to happen. That's what the comment section's for, because hey, comment below who you'd have at your dinner table.
Yeah, legit. Actually, that's sick. Yeah. Yeah. If you've made it this far, drop that down below.
Interesting to see what who people want there. I think to answer my own question, I'd definitely have. I'd probably go Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Because my mum and dad saw him live and said that he like tells a story and then turns it into a song, like relates it into. But that'd be awesome. I'd go Freddie Mercury, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Because he had mad parties, bro. And he just looked joke, so I think it'd be awesome to have him there.
Yeah.
And I'd probably go for someone that could bring a different dynamic to the table, you know? So, but who? There's so many out there. Who had a big impact? I'd probably have. It's really hard. The last one's the hardest, definitely. I feel like someone like Tyler, the Creator, would be joke, but maybe he'd clash a bit too much with Freddie Mercury. They'd probably get on, but also there's two very big personalities in the room.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, I suppose if you're thinking about it as in how it would work dynamically, then yes,
logistically,
yeah.
But I'd love to have someone like Otis Redding, you know?
Yes, yeah.
Or
wow, that would be a sick one.
Or like BB King, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be very lit, actually.
Like,
or what's the guy who did what's the song? It's gonna bug me now. It's I can't remember what it's called. This is the problem. I'm singing it in my head, but I can't remember the lyrics.
I'm gonna need some more tips.
When she's gone.
Oh.
But she stays too long.
Oh.
There's no sunshine.
Bill Withers. Is it?
Yes, Bill Withers.
Yes,
sunshine when she's gone. And all that sort. Yeah.
Like,
I could sing it in my head, but I couldn't remember the lyrics. Yeah, Bill Withers as well.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah.
The voice, he'd just soothe you at the table. Like, I'd just be there, and I'd be like in the presence of these geniuses and all that sort of stuff, and then you hear his voice, and you're like, I instantly feel
ASMR.
Yeah. Just get the microphone out to the table. And just
Mad tingles from
really
Bill
softly
Withers.
into it. Oh, can you imagine? Wow.
It's like my first time discovering Bob Ross. That was a madness. Two very good dinner tables. I think we could both agree.
Yeah, they would be insane. So good.
But yeah, I think that will do. That will do there. Donkey. That was. First of all, thank you so much for coming on and having just an open nice chat. I hope it was fun and had a good time.
It's absolutely no problem, man. Obviously, we're G's. We go way back. So it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. It was a sick conversation.
Yeah, man.
People enjoyed it as well. It's just nice to be open in these sorts of things. So it's sick.
Exactly.
Enjoyed it.
Exactly. Hopefully, a nice insight for some of your guys and gals to come over and hear your opinion on things. I'll probably put the whole podcast out of and chop it up and as well, and put little bits out for people that don't want to listen to like a 3-hour podcast, which I get.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, absolutely. As I say, like, it was just so nice to have a catch up with you, and I'm glad we did it. If you want to do it again, just hit me up, mate, anytime.
No, I'm actually good now, to be honest with you.
That's
Yeah, no, of course,
that's
man.
Awkward.
Anytime. I've got to come on again for that 420th episode as well for a start. Hopefully, somewhere in between, I'll be back. I don't want to wait 420 episodes, big man. But
I'll get you one.
Technically.
I think 490 episodes. That's a bit too long. We'll get you one as soon as the 69th, bro. That's the deal. The 69th one is yours.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude. It's been absolutely awesome. You know, as I say, on this YouTube, this is the original YouTube channel of mine. This is why I've got so many subs to the amount of content I've got. The only person I say go subscribe to is you, and that's never changed. So if you don't, dude, honestly, ever top in your original 20 subs, bro. So
back in the days.
If for some reason you're here from my base vids, please go check out Niran. His channel is going to be linked below. It's going to be on the video now, and it's also on the homepage of my channel, so please check him out. Awesome guy, awesome videos, and very, very closely to 500k, which is going to be a mad milestone for you to reach, man. And I can't wait for you to do that and reach that target, and then help you or push you whatever I can to get to 1 million, bro. That's the goal.
Oi, mate, that's the end goal.
That's the end goal
for sure.
That's the end game.
Give me a couple years, and we'll be back again. We out here, hopefully. But yeah, man, thank you so much.
No, it's all
Cheers
good,
for the
bro.
kind words. Again, listen, the same way that Charlie's just done for me. If anyone's here and made it this far, man, we've been chatting for like 2 hours. This is wavy. But yeah, no, like if you're not subscribed to Charlie's channel, listen, base tutorials coming out. I don't know how often, like every I feel like weekly. I reckon weekly. You're just smashing them out at the moment. Follow him, obviously sub here. Follow him on Insta. He's done a lot of base covers there as well. So yeah, man.
I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that.
It's all lit.
So, first episode done. I've got my second guest coming up, which means I don't have one. but I will find. You
tricked me there for a second. I was like, oh, wavy. Say good man.
Who's it gonna be?
Who's that? Oh, wavy, mind you.
If there's anyone in the comments that wants to get involved, give me a shout. Give me a shout up. But yeah, right. I will end this podcast here, and thank you very much. Leave a like, make sure you sub to Niran, and I will see you in the next episode.
Catch you later, boys.